Hey, Facebook fam, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey y'all, welcome,
Welcome to the After Show with Ken and
Kelis. We are so happy that you are with us today. Before we begin, please, guys, thumbs up the stream. We really would appreciate it.
please thumbs it up. It's free.
What Ken said. Anyways, so while y'all do that, Ken, you want to go ahead and let them know what we're getting into tonight?
All right, y'all. This may be a sensitive one for some folks. So I'm just going to give a disclaimer now. Our opinions may not be your opinions, but we are all adults, so we can agree to disagree on the matter.
Right.
So tonight, we're going to be talking about Planned Parenthood and how they are putting that on the youth as young as, I think, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, something like that. So we're going to watch some videos, react to them, and talk about it. Anything else, Chloe?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And also what you guys see on the thumbnail, what it speaks about, like how they're saying that virginity does not exist. So I'm sure in one of the videos that we're going to be watching, it goes into that as well. So it's about the Planned Parenthood and that so as well. So without further ado, let's get into this video. I'll just pick and choose, Ken, if you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let me do that. Let me see which one.
Which one's the longest? You should save the longest one for last.
Which one is the longest? Hold on, let me see.
I think Shumake Ways is the longest. Isn't his like 7 minutes?
Okay, so you know what? I'm just gonna pick by random. We'll just do that. So let's go with the Planned Parenthood history of scandal. You want to do that?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, so let me open that up here. All right, guys, let's get into it.
Outrage and disbelief as videotape surfaces showing Planned Parenthood admitting, even celebrating, its practice of harvesting the organs of aborted fetuses for money.
The video was shot with actors posing as potential buyers who asked if doctors could perform custom-tailored abortions with the goal of specific organs.
What sort of compensation? What sort of?
Well, why don't you start by telling me what you used to pay it? I want to That's how I want to live.
What infuriates me, Megan, is the fraud behind this video. Let's call it what it is. This is right-wing pornography.
The allegation that Planned Parenthood profits in any way from tissue donation is not true.
A 13-year-old girl got an abortion at Planned Parenthood.
This girl was sexually abused for years by her stepfather. She became pregnant at the age of 13. The stepdad took her into a Planned Parenthood in Denver, had the abortion, and not a single one of them reported the sexual abuse or looped in the mother.
It's a Planned Parenthood counselor in Indianapolis encouraging an actress posing as a 15-year-old girl to engage in S&M.
Kinky, sex, dominating stuff. It's very popular.
What? Porn, try graphic sex acts.
I've heard of it. I haven't read it.
You need to read it.
He was unsure whether Planned Parenthood would save the life of a baby born as the result of a botched abortion.
The patient would be the child struggling on a table. Wouldn't you agree?
That's a very good question. I really don't know how to answer that.
We're talking about babies that are actually born alive.
They're calling this post-birth abortion. We give what, $500 million to Planned Parenthood?
Their interest is not protecting these girls. Their interest is abortion.
I don't know what to say about that. I'm shocked.
Why are we both silent?
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, I was really trying to pay attention, y'all. So I'm gonna tell y'all what I heard in that video. I heard about abortions. I heard about a young person, a minor, underage, doing some S&M, whatever it's called, some not that just disgusting acts. Organs. Ken, I don't know. I'm speechless.
Yeah, so basically that's what they're saying that Planned Parenthood be doing, allegedly. I mean, I think they do.
So
we have to
they're
say allegedly. Definitely, like, and they are about money. Like, what else? And what does our taxes go to pay? Give them $500 million. Our taxes do that?
Well, I mean,
what?
I don't. I mean, I don't doubt it.
That's a tragedy. See, you should be able to pick and choose. If you have to pay taxes, you should be able to pick and choose where your taxes go to. That's.
Yeah, I guess just that world just don't work that way. But if you guys are watching, please thumb up the stream. So Lauren said, if these allegations are true, whether you are pro-life or pro-abortion, Planned Parenthood government funding should be cut immediately. I don't like. I mean, honestly, I don't like the Planned Parenthood situation type deal anyway. So yeah, I believe that it should be cut immediately. But as we go into other videos, we'll see.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
But I was gonna say how did the stepfather trifling self take his 13-year-old daughter in there and they don't report the abuse? I thought they're supposed to report stuff.
It's probably because they think they like in this day of age. I don't know how far long ago that was, like if it was years ago or so forth. But you know, it's like these days they're just like, oh well, I know they're in the look. I'll just put it this way: they're on the I don't want to judge anybody type of situation. That's what they do. I don't want to judge anybody, so I'm not going to report. I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to say that because I'm not going to judge. That's what they do. What's the word? I'm trying to find the word. The I don't want to judge era. I don't know. They most likely supposed to report that. Well, at least I would think that they would have to report that, but clearly they can pick and choose, I guess, what they can report and what they don't report. I don't know.
What they want to report.
Yeah, right. It is very, very strange. And then I don't know if they went more into this organs. Did they just make like a quick comment about that? Because
but maybe if you do more research, you could find more about them organs. But they probably do that with aborted babies.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's crazy. All right. Well, anyways, we'll get into the next video here. Next one we're gonna do. Racism, eugenics, and hatred. The truth behind Planned Parenthood founder, which I'm pretty sure you guys all know who that is, but I'll just pull it up on the screen here. All right. And we're going to get into it. Shall we? Let's go.
As founder of the American Birth Control League, which later became Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger was no doubt a controversial figure with disturbing views on eugenics, race, and population control. While some argue she even wanted to exterminate the Black race, others are trying to erase that part of her past.
Allegedly.
Mike Wallace interview. In the eyes of some, Margaret Sanger has been a heroine. In the eyes of others, she's been a destructive force.
In her own words, Sanger pushed for a society that limited births to those she deemed fit to have children.
I think the greatest sin in the world is bringing children into the world that have disease from their parents.
Black children, to be exact.
To be a human being, practically. Delinquents, prisoners, all sorts of things just marked when they're born.
In 1916, Sanger opened the country.
Yeah, minorities for real.
As a member of the American Eugenics Society, she advocated improving the genetic composition of humans through controlled reproduction of different races and classes. She often wrote about the issue in the journal she founded, called the Birth Control Review. In 1919, writing,
I personally believe in the sterilization of the feeble-minded, the insane, and the syphilitic. The most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the overfertility of the mentally and physically defective.
Just like people
Many
call
point
her
to a
the devil's daughter,
1923
Satan's
New York
daughter.
Times interview as proof of Sanger's racist motives, in which she referred to people as weeds, saying,
"It means the release and cultivation of the better racial elements in our society and the gradual suppression, elimination, and eventual extirpation of defective stocks, those human weeds which threaten the blooming of the finest flowers of American civilization."
Hayden Ludwig, an investigative researcher, has extensively studied Sanger's life and writings.
She talked about the need for race betterment through controlling these weeds, basically undesirable people.
In 1939, after opening another clinic in Harlem, the birth control activist launched the Negro Project, an initiative supported by Black leaders, such as civil rights activist W.E.B. Du Bois. Critics claim the program used the pretense of better health and family planning for poor Blacks in the South as an attempt to limit the Black race. Ludwig says some on the left grapple with Sanger's past and how to interpret her legacy.
They know when she writes about human weeds, they know that it's repulsive. They know it's disgusting. The left will never abandon Margaret Sanger because if they do, she's the foundation of so many of their views.
Sanger once shared her vision for a preferred race at a women's branch of the Ku Klux Klan, writing in her autobiography,
"Always, to me, any aroused group was a good group."
Despite those views, liberals praise Sanger's work while ignoring her history.
I admire Margaret.
I don't know how true this is, so I'm just going to ask the question. I'm not putting it out there, but I'm asking the question. From what I've heard, I heard that Margaret Sanger was related to Hitler. Is that true? I don't know.
I don't know.
Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision. I am really in awe of her.
Ryan Baumberger, founder of the Radiance Foundation, says abortion proponents are working to clean up Sanger's past and what she stood for.
They have to reinvent her every time they talk about her in order to justify their celebration of her.
Former Planned Parenthood director Abby Johnson says those inside the abortion industry are trained to overlook Sanger's racist views.
They give you an answer like, well, I mean, yes, Margaret Sanger was a racist, but everybody was a racist back then. You accept it because she is your hero. And she has to be your hero. You cannot question Planned Parenthood.
In 1997, Stephen Mosher of the Population Research Institute wrote about the push to repackage Margaret Sanger in the Wall Street Journal.
The reason I call it the repackaging of Margaret Sanger is because after the Nazi regime destroyed the legitimacy of eugenics forever, they then went back and said, oh, she was just an early feminist. She was just an early supporter of family planning. No, she wasn't. No, she was a supporter of giving IQ tests to people. She was in favor of using those IQ tests to determine who should be sterilized and who should have children.
In a response titled The Demonization of Margaret Sanger, Alexander Sanger, her grandson and president of Planned Parenthood at the time, called Mosher's editorial unfair. In the same piece, Esther Katz, director of NYU's Margaret Sanger Papers Project, claimed evidence revealing Sanger did not rationalize her support for birth control on racist grounds, that she never advocated genocidal policies aimed at racial, ethnic, or religious groups, and that she, in fact, believed access to birth control would benefit, not eliminate minority populations. Dr. Katz turned down our request for an interview, although in this article, the editor as public authority interpreting Margaret Sanger, she wrote, by our current highly sensitized standards, some of her attitudes and statements can be construed as racist, elitist, ethnocentric, and not politically correct. In 1942, Margaret Sanger's American Birth Control League became Planned Parenthood, which has moved to fulfill its founders' goals, helped greatly by the Supreme Court decision in Roe v. Wade.
Under the veil of secrecy and deception, 60 plus million babies have not been born because they were aborted legally since 73. 1/3 of that population belong to the African American community.
A frightening and telling number, given Blacks make
number
up only
one,
13%
African
of the US
American
population.
community.
Dan Gaynor of the Media Research Center says that Sanger's true mission remains alive and well throughout today's abortion industry.
Look at the maps. See where the abortion facilities are. They are near places where people are marginalized, people are poor, people are minority, and that's their target market.
Generation after generation,
we have built a better world for our daughters.
Because of allies in the media and academia, Gaynor also points out how speech from conservatives and others about Sanger's past, Planned Parenthood practices, and abortion is often classified as hate speech.
There is nothing as close to a sacrament in the media as abortion. It is a holy writ that abortion is protected. And anybody who comes out against it, any organization, any business, anybody, the media swarm.
So does social media.
Facebook's new oversight board, and this is really concerning, has 4 co-chairs. And they're going to be the appeals board for content. Well, one of the 4 oversight board is on the board of an pro-abortion group. There's no pro-lifers. They're not there.
The problem also exists on many college campuses.
I remember at Harvard, they laughed when I was talking about the history of eugenics. And they said, that doesn't matter. Planned Parenthood is not like it was during Margaret Sanger's days.
Those who oppose her views say not true and are committed to exposing her past for future generations. Charlene Aaron, CBN News.
Okay. Interesting.
So, do you believe that Margaret was a racist?
Yeah, totally. And just like Lauren said, it's ironic. The very groups that she aimed to destroy today have their members supporting her legacy. See, and even people do the worst, their research and seeing the racism behind that. And then that is crazy. It's beyond me. It's like, what is going on in your head that you're going to go and support a group like that, Planned Parenthood, and the Black people? Like, she didn't like Black people.
But that's the thing. Black people, they don't do their research. They don't research nothing.
Exactly. They don't like to read. What was that? Who said this? Malcolm X said something about if you don't want Black people to find out about something, put it in a book. Yeah. Because they don't want to read. They don't want to do research.
Like, that's a tragedy.
Crazy. She was beyond any doubt a racist, among other things. She definitely was a racist.
Yeah, she definitely. And why does she think she God? That she can do an IQ on somebody, and if they come up mentally insane or something, they should be aborted. What?
I mean, because she's Satan's daughter.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, well.
That's why she thinks that she can go and do something like that, because she is Satan's daughter, literally. Excuse me, y'all. She's Satan's daughter. And she think that, and we all know that Satan wanted to be, or Lucifer wanted to be God. So there's your answer right there.
Shoot.
She literally had the same ideology as the Nazis. Because I don't know, like, that's what I was hearing before. I was like, I've heard, but I don't know how true it was. Like, if she was related to Hitler, I heard that she was, but I don't know how true it is.
I don't even know who's first, her or Aleister Crowley. Like,
yeah, them bunch of crazy folk. I would hate to see her mother, right? But like, it's just like she. Okay, a lot of people say this is like they had to get it from somewhere.
Her mama.
I don't know if it could be the mother, the father, somebody within the family as she grew up and maybe taught her something like that. But that's something to actually research, to go down into that lineage just to see, like, I think she belongs to the devil though, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That is crazy. Could use probably the mother, maybe, but I don't know. Like, she could have.
You know, she got that from her lineage.
Somewhere along the lines, like a friend of the family, or her mother, a family member.
I don't know.
Hitler.
She got it from born. Like,
I don't know, but girl. Okay, so let's go ahead and watch.
That's insane. Why Caucasian people always think they have the right to say who should be the more pleasing to the eye or who should be extinct? What?
Well, I'll tell you this. Until the how would you say it? The Gentiles, what is it? I forgot what it's called. Caduce, help me out. Has been fulfilled, something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Maybe some people don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's because they think that they're superior. That's why. And they think they have the right to tell somebody, not all, but people like Margaret Sanger, of course her, think they have the right to tell people what they are and what they're not. Everyone wants to be like us. We are the salt of the earth. Right. There you go. The time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. That's exactly what I was speaking about. So there's your answer, Ken. That's what I was trying to say. Thanks, Caduce. All right. So let's get into Shumaker here. See what he got to say. Planned Parenthood is teaching middle school age children that virginity doesn't exist. And that was the point that I was making here, which ties into the thumbnail. So let's go ahead and get into it.
It's a term that was created simply to control and shame people, mainly women.
Never mind that the Bible tells you to be pure and not to be sexually immoral and tells us to save sex for marriage. It's just something that society came up with to control women. I got 4 kids, right? 2 boys and 2 girls. So that means that at some point, I'm going to have the talk 4 different times, right? And
Wait just a second. This is good. I want to read this real quick. Speaking about Marcus Sanger, however you say her last name, she joined a group that shaped her beliefs called the eugenics movement. So if anybody wants to go and look that up, because I will too, but I believe that, I think I did hear about that. So she came into this group. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Anyways, thank you, Jerome.
And I pray to God that when we have that conversation, it leads to clarity, understanding about the subject, understanding about their body, and then also most of all, what God says about it, right? And then I also want them to have self-control by the time, understand how important self-control is by the time that conversation is over with, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because ain't nobody had that talk with me when I was young. And trust me when I tell you, speaking from experience, I wish that somebody had that conversation with me, because I was taught about sex from older cousins, and they didn't tell me nothing that was useful. They told me how to have as much of it as I possibly could. Basically taught me how to be irresponsible with my body, which is something that God don't want. You know what I'm saying? But today, I think is even worse than what it was for me, because now we have companies that are dedicated to seeming like making sure our kids, are more sexually driven than we were. Planned Parenthood just released a series of videos about sex. And in pretty much every last one of those videos, it seems to me that they are trying to groom children. These videos that they made are supposedly for middle school and high school age children. And from what I understand, they actually want to play these videos in school. Go ahead and show y'all one. And y'all already know I'm gonna come back and give y'all my thoughts on this stuff.
Virginity is a completely made-up concept. It's a term that was created simply to control and shame people, mainly women.
Off the rip, she on that craziness, that crazy talk. Now virginity is a completely made up concept, and it was made to control women for the most part, right? Never mind that the Bible tells you to be pure
Definitely
and
off the
not.
rip. She's a feminist.
First of all, her big tail need to sit down and have several seats. She just mad because she ain't a virgin. Anyway, let me just, girl, bye.
A virgin is someone who's never had sex, but it's not as simple as it seems. For one thing, medically, virginity isn't a real thing.
All right, I'm sorry. I do want to get through the video, but I have to stop her right there in her tracks, where she's speaking about a virgin is someone who doesn't have sex. But let's make it very clear. A virgin is an actual woman who has not had sex, because there's no such thing as virgin men. Just saying. And if I'm incorrect, please somebody correct me. But that's just my thoughts in that one. A virgin is a woman who has not been her opening, and no man has gone inside of her. Anyway.
So what would you call a man that hasn't had sex? Just
a man, like, because if you go and you look, like, I know I'm learning the biblical stuff. If you go and you look at biblical stuff, not once did you ever see a man be called a virgin.
Well, yeah.
In the Bible, it was always the women that were being called virgins.
Yes, but you're
that
right.
has not been touched.
Right, that's true. But men shouldn't also throw their bodies around and.
Well, no, of course not, because that would be called whoredom. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
you gotta make it clear on here, because people might be like, well, you know.
No, like they got rules too. Men got rules too. It's not just us women. Men, they got rules too. There are men that are virgins, but maybe not the term for men. It's not a term. Well, okay, if you guys want to say virgins, sure, but that's today's society. But there's no such thing as men virgins, in my opinion. Biblically, going to a biblical standpoint. But okay. Anyways, I just wanted to stop her in her tracks there.
Another reason the idea of virginity is complete nonsense is that sex means different things to different people. Generally speaking, society tends to define sex in a very narrow way: penetration, penis into vagina. But where does that definition leave queer people, or folks who can't or don't have penis and vagina sex?
Bro!
Again, God is very straightforward on
Wait
this.
a minute, she lost me.
All of this stuff she just said is not. It is.
Girl, wait a minute.
Wait
a minute.
What she mean?
She ain't ready for this answer. She ain't ready. Wait a minute. Girl. What are you talking about? I know, like, you want to cover everybody from the alphabet group and everything, but honey, no. They don't.
What?
No. I'll just leave it there. No. Okay? Because I ain't trying to have my face being taken down today. Girl, no.
Who got her viewpoint's been off since she started talking?
Just look at her. She decided to wear them dang on pants. Girl, like, come on now. She don't know how to make good decisions. Look at her.
They would stop zooming in on those tight pants she got
Like,
on.
seriously, she don't make great decisions. Just look at her. Girl, no.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, we'll continue. But when does that eat queer people? Girl, bye.
It's not difficult to understand. It's not complicated. God wants us to have sex. He wants a man and a woman to get together, marry, have as much sex as they can, have children, raise those children up on godly principles, and repeat the process. It's real simple, right? But again, when we do it our way and we introduce baby mama, baby daddy culture, hookup culture into the fold, now you see women being done wrong, men being done wrong, children being definitely done wrong because they're being brought into situations that they didn't ask to be in. It's not beneficial for any of us to be out here being sexually immoral. But because it feels good, and we idolize, we put pleasure on the pedestal. Now we around here making all these concessions. And don't get me wrong, I did the same thing, but it's because of me growing up and looking back on my life and realizing where things went wrong and what I wish I would have done different and all that kind of stuff. It's got me looking at things differently now. I can tell you for 100% fact that I wish I would have done it the right way. I wish I would have got married and then had sex.
Me too.
I wish I would have done it that way.
Agreed.
I don't know why it's ever been thought of to do it different. I wish nobody had sex the way we want to have sex. I wish everybody had sex the way God wants us to have sex. Society would be so much better.
Also, a double standard on who carries the burden of virginity. Society puts pressure on men for not having sex at the exact same time they shame women for having it. Make it make.
Now, she did say something that's real right there now. I'm going to be honest with you. As a young boy, when I was a teenager, my older cousins, the ones that pretty much encouraged me to be reckless with my sex life and chase after women and all that kind of stuff, they pretty much shamed me and some of my other friends. When we got to a certain age, we wasn't getting none. They started talking about us. Oh, you ain't getting none. Oh, you scared of you know what? And all this, that, and that. You scared of girls. We was just being kids. We wasn't supposed to be out there really chasing no girls like that. But because no fathers were around to keep us in check and to have these conversations with us,
No
it
fathers.
left
It's important.
older kids that didn't have no business knowing about sex neither, to teach the younger kids around them what sex was and had us out here doing it all wrong. We got to have the conversation with our kids about sex, right? Because we definitely don't need kids having a conversation with kids about sex. And we don't need this woman having the conversation with our kids about sex neither.
Sense. Either way, shame has no place in someone's personal decisions about sex. It's time to throw away the notion of losing your virginity. What if instead of losing something, we reframe it as gaining? Because the truth is, when we make our own decision to become sexually active, we aren't setting ourselves up to lose anything at all. We hope we are gaining things like intimacy.
So now she making it seem like losing your virginity, you finna win a prize now. That's the thing. That's one of the things about this video that really rubbed me the wrong way. The way she framed this is like, hey,
Don't shame.
little Timmy,
No shame.
you ain't thought about
the
getting
no
none
judgment
yet.
generation.
But guess what?
Don't shame.
When you get some, you're gonna win a prize. It's gonna be so glorious and beautiful when you finally lose your virginity. You ain't losing your virginity, you gaining intimacy. You're gaining whatever else you're getting ready to name. This a grown woman, and she knows she making this video for kids. It's obvious she ain't talking to adults. This is a grown woman talking about sex in a way that she knows is going to be played on this video. She know this video is going to be played for
Right,
kids.
Caduce.
And this is really how she
Gaining
talking. This
demons
is
is what
weird.
they're doing. Soul ties.
Like, this woman probably need to be investigated to make sure she ain't been messing with kids. Cause this how she's sounding like a predator trying to groom children.
That part.
Self-insight, pleasure, and empowerment. All of these myths around sex and virginity can be so hurtful and overwhelming. But here's the one truth you should remember. Sex is defined by one thing and one thing only: you. That's the beauty of your sexual journey. You're in charge, and you can figure it out on your own terms.
Children should not be left to figure sex out on their own terms. You know what I'm saying? We need to not be shamed of having these conversations with our kids, because if we don't, somebody is. And we don't want one of these people that I just got done talking about to have that conversation. It's much better for us, people that are responsible for the children that we bring into this world. And hopefully we know better and we learned a thing or two about sex and doing it the wrong way, whether it be from just studying the Bible or, knowing people, or just, through personal experience. Hopefully we got to the point where we know better. And then we talk to our children from that place of knowing better, instead of encouraging them to be out here walking around being promiscuous, showing their body and chasing after girl, trying to look up somebody's skirt. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we know what come from that. So many of us were brought up in broken homes. We need way less of that going on right now. We need to be promoting husband and wife raising kids in the household. It's way better that way. No child deserves a single parent home. I know there's a lot of people that are doing the best that they can because of the situation that they've been put in. They didn't want to be in that situation, right? I get it. I'm not talking down on people. I'm simply saying that it's way better to raise children, to have children be born into homes, stable homes with a husband and a wife.
Agreed.
Because these children deserve that. We should want to give that to them. That's a gift. You know what I'm saying? So many of us were raised without it. We should put all of our energy into making sure that our children have it. Right? But
break the generational curse.
Never mind what I think. Let's get into what God thinks. That's the only thing that's important. And I'm gonna start off right here in Hebrews 13, verse 4. It says, "Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled. For God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous." So right there is letting you know marriage is to be held in honor, and sex is to be is to be had within a marriage. The marriage bed needs to be undefiled. For God will judge the sexually immoral and the adulterous. If you have sex with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, you're sexually immoral. If you do any kind of sexual act outside of marriage, is sexual immorality. Period, point blank.
Open up your ears, y'all.
1 Thessalonians 4, verse 3 says, For this is God's will, your sanctification. He wants you to be holy, that you keep away from sexual immorality, that each of you knows how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not with lustful passions like the Gentiles who don't know God. That passage is pretty self-explanatory. The Gentiles is out here being sexually immoral because they didn't know God. That's the only excuse. He's telling his people, God's telling his people, don't go out there and be like them. They're sexually immoral because they don't know me. And you don't need to be like
Learn
them.
not the ways
Have
of the heathen.
self-control. Don't be sexually immoral. Right? One more Bible verse I'm going to show y'all. 1 Corinthians 6, verse 18 says, "Flee sexual immorality. Every other sin a person commits is outside the body, but the person who is sexually immoral sins against his own body." Planned Parenthood ain't gonna never tell you this. They ain't gonna never tell you that when you sin, when you out here living a life of sin, especially when you having sex, the consequences behind that are gonna be pretty bad. Like going out here, getting somebody pregnant, and it's not your wife. And now you got to raise them in a situation where, for one, you probably didn't want the kid. You were just out here you was hiding the drawers and was trying to get it in. So now you got a child with somebody that a lot of people, they barely even know the person that they have children with. Now you got to figure out how to raise a child with this person. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be smooth and it's not going to be turbulent free, because it's not even turbulent free when you're married. But it's definitely hard when you with somebody and they don't care nothing about how you feel because you ain't their husband, and vice versa. So I just wanted to show y'all that clip because Planned Parenthood is getting ready to have the talk with your children, and you see what type of stuff they on. This ain't even the only video. They got a bunch of other videos that came out a couple weeks ago. They got a series of videos, and they talking about sex, and you don't want your children to come across those videos, right? But y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section.
Girl. Girl. Yep, I agree with you, Caduce. I do wish that I did different too. Praise the Lord for changing my mind in life. Right, and it always goes to that to the generational curses, because you're only like really a child growing up in their whatever situation they grow up to. They're being taught that, like they learn that, so that's all they know. So of course, if the mama's being a hoe or the daddy's being a hoe, or whatever, that's what they're gonna know. So when they grow up, they're gonna go and do it too, unless they have like some grandmother that or a grandfather that scoops them up and teaches them otherwise.
Yeah, I don't know why parents don't be thinking that kids ain't watching them.
Of course they're watching them.
Kids are very observant. So
yeah, they are. Of course they're watching them. And then now you got all these outsiders in these schools coming into these schools, teaching like that, Pinky, that girl in the video.
What? She is a porn star.
Okay, I don't know, whatever. I'm just calling her because of the color that she had on. The lady that was speaking of Planned Parenthood. Okay.
Oh,
girl, what are you talking about? Her. Well, whatever. Like they probably know that too. I don't know. But that lady's going in. Somebody like that exact lady in that video going into your children's school or going into the schools and telling the children about this, and the teachers are allowing this, just like they allow this in elementary schools or whatever schools, doing drag, story time, and all this other stuff, corrupting the children.
Like, why they need to know about that? And my son ain't gonna know about it because he don't.
Right, when their minds are not even.
Well, he don't. My son don't go to in school. He don't go to in school class. Never mind. I thought she was talking about something else.
I was calling that black lady.
I know now what you're
Pinky,
talking about
because of her clothes that she had on, but. Yeah, like,
girl, I thought you was talking about something else.
They are totally going after the children. Now, let me ask you this, since this is pretty much the topic of discussion tonight, going into Planned Parenthood. Let us know in the chat. Does virginity exist?
Of course it do.
Does virginity exist? I want to know what y'all think in the chat. If y'all watching the replay, comment down below and let us know what you think. But Caduce or Kanisha said, girl, I know she was talking about the lady in the video, girl.
Oh, no. I thought you said that lady who was promoting stuff to kids. I named Pinky. I was like, hell no. That's what I was
saying. So virginity, of course, virginity does exist. Of course it exists. We have a definition in the dictionary. It's very clear. So yeah, clearly what that lady was talking about, the definition of virginity. I had to dig a little bit deep into that one. So I had to stop her in the tracks a little bit. But like I said, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected, and y'all can correct me and let me know. Because yeah, that's crazy. This world is gone to hell in a handbasket. Is that what they say?
Hide your kids. What they say? Hide your kids. Hide your wives.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife. Hide everybody, because everybody's up here getting corrupted. They want to go after everybody, especially the children. They're going after children because their minds are. They can't make up their minds. Their minds are not fully developed to where they can actually make a cautious decision.
That's how you get kids going home acting out, talking about, I don't have a virginity. It's what does she say? It's what does she say? It's not a virginity. It's what? What does she say?
I don't even hear what she said.
I
don't even remember what that ever said. She probably said something like, "It's not a virginity. It's a gain," or something like that. Did she say something like it's a gain? You're gonna gain something? I don't know, girl. I don't know.
Alice Bailey. Yep.
Alice Bailey is the leading occultist who wrote the script, The Witchcraft Spell, that's working today. She wrote what the New World Order would bring about. Well,
yeah, wasn't her Aleister Crowley like they did stuff together, and wasn't Madame Blavatsky like her mentor? They all evil.
I don't know, but I don't know. But my opinion, Planned Parenthood is garbage. Planned Parenthood is trash. Planned Parenthood is not good for anybody, any race, no race, white, black, Asian, Indian, so forth, whatever, yellow, green, blue, whoever. Planned Parenthood is not your friend. My opinion.
Yeah, it's not. Nope.
Anyway.
That's tragedy. And you know what? They so right. In the video, in the earlier videos, they so right. They put Planned Parenthoods in the hoods or close to them.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure they did. But you know, Ken, you know they did that on purpose. They wanted to get rid of the black people.
Yep.
That's allegedly, whatever. My opinion, they wanted to get rid of us. Because just like Kanisha said, in the above the chat of upward, is that we're the salt of the earth. Like, come on, seriously. Of course they want to get rid of us.
Oh, they want to take your organs too.
Yeah, just like we saw in previous video about heart organs. Freaking disgusting.
There's too many cases of them taking black people's organs. I done seen too many cases of it. So
then also this evil, wicked Hollywood is gonna make that movie Get Out. And if you don't know what that's about, then you really need to come on now, like get your mind checked.
They're doing that for real. But they do that. They have to put stuff in plain sight.
Right. And don't you see? Like, I'm just gonna call it how it is, and I'm not being a racist or anything. I'm speaking about the movie Get Out, to be exact. All those elderly or white people, the organs that they were trying to get from somebody, they were all black people. You see all the black people there? Like, come on now. Like, it's not a coincidence.
They know that our organs, like you said, we're the salt of the earth. They know that.
Right. And the thing is that we shouldn't even feel like a shame or embarrassed to even say something like that. To be shameful to even say anything like that.
What?
You know what I mean? So
ashamed to say what?
that we're the salt of the earth. Like these people, they go after our stuff. I'm gonna put it like that. They go after our stuff. We're number one.
You know what? And what's crazy about that movie Get Out is that it was Jordan Peele who wrote the story, like a black man. So it's like he's the one who well, I don't know if he wrote it. No, he had to have wrote it. He wrote it and he produced it and he directed it. Yeah. So there's a lot of black people that sell out.
Of course there is, because what? Money makes the world go round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you know, with us, our black folk, sorry, I love y'all, but I gotta keep it real about us, okay? Don't come for me. Well, you can come for me if you want to, but I'm about to say this. Black folk, when they living in poverty and they poor and they get a little bit of something, that money come up and they start looking at them paychecks, they like, yeah, let me go ahead and let me get my next paycheck. What do I have to do for it?
Oh,
they're willing to become sellouts so that they can get a piece.
There's a lot of black people in the industry who's willing to become sellouts because they didn't have nothing, but not everybody's like that.
No, not everybody is like that, but you can tell.
Haven't they heard the saying all money ain't good money? And
right, exactly.
The side buster.
But no, you can tell when there's the black folks that are they think they show off the stuff that they have, but really they're poor. But me, I feel like I'm rich because I have Yeshua. I have the Most High. I believe in Him. I follow after them. The Elohim. I feel rich because of that. I am rich. And I ain't speaking about no mammon, no money or nothing. It's a different kind of rich. And I'd rather have that type of rich than any money rich. Just saying.
You can't take it when you go anyways.
Exactly. Oh, there was a story that this guy, he was so greedy that when he died,
they put all his money in his casket.
He wanted to be buried with all of his money.
You know what? And I would have, if I was his family, I would have been like, oh no.
But what did he think was gonna happen with that? He think he gonna be like roaming around him, but like, oh, let me go and buy some of this. Oh, let me go and buy me some water, some ice water.
No. You know his character. Ain't no good.
What? Girl. For real. Yeah. Yep. Exactly, Caduce. I'm the daughter of the Most High King. Exactly. And that's what makes you rich. Exactly. Anyway. Well, this was a great show tonight, Ken. Self-explanatory. Y'all know the deal. I mean, you can make your mind up, whatever your mind is, when it comes to these folks, but I never trusted them, really.
Yeah, I think people need to stop trusting teachers and all these people who come outside of school into the school with their kids. Like, they just too trusted. I don't got to worry about that. My son's homeschooled.
Yeah, that's good. Sometimes it's just better than that. And it may be going further down the line in the future. You're going to have to pull your children out of these facilities because they have become beyond wicked. Having those type of people coming to your schools and grooming your children. Sick. But anyways, that's all I have tonight. You have anything else to say, Ken?
Nope. Thank you guys all for tuning in with us tonight on the Ken and Kelis After Show.
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, please thumbs up the video. Well, we thank y'all again. Until next time, cheers.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all. Thank you again, and stay beautiful. Bye now.
Bye.